So there's a new trailer for Sonic Frontiers Combat, and they have shown so many new things that answers a lot of questions of how the combat system will play out. And in this video, I will be explaining and breaking down how the combat system works from the demo and of course the trailer itself. Now with that said, let's jump right into it, and we're gonna start off with a very interesting topic, the skill tree itself. So Sonic Frontiers introduces a skill tree where Sonic can progress through it to unlock even more skills as the game goes on. And the way Sonic does it is by collecting these things called skill pieces. Once Sonic have collected enough of these skill pieces, you are able to unlock the next skill in your skill tree. These skill pieces can be obtained by two ways. One is from defeating enemies and the other one is from the environment, for example, breaking these glass chambers. This is actually a great mechanic, as what makes a great open world game in the first place is to have meaningful exploration, and this itself promotes exactly just that. You're not just hunting enemies, but you're also given the option to test things out in the open environment. Now, in regards to the skill itself, it is mentioned that Sonic will have 3 basic skills at the start of the game right from the get-go, which are the homing attack, the iconic drop dash, and the stomp as well. Every other skills have to be unlocked through the skill tree, and this is important because later enemies will get harder to defeat as they get more tactical, so relying on these basic skill alone will not be enough. And yes, all of these skills, including the basics and the one in the skill tree, will have their own button prompts, which means you can use them almost anytime you want without relying on automatic combos. Although I do have to mention that there is an automatic combo option in the game, but that can be easily toggled off if you want more control on activating these skills yourself. Now the trailer also shows that you can get these things called the red seed of power and the blue seed of defense, which will technically increase your attack and defensive capabilities. And we're also not too sure if skills from the skill tree can be further upgraded to make them stronger, but from the looks of it, the damage itself might be solely tied to Sonic's level. But enough of the skill tree, let's jump into the combo system and the skills itself. And yes, combos are a big part of Sonic Frontiers Combat. We can see that Sonic is able to unleash a powerful move called the Phantom Rush after reaching 20 combos. Phantom Rush basically allows Sonic to attack enemies in extremely high speed while providing an increased burst of attack damage. We are not too sure if there are more skills that is solely tied to combos, as they only shown Phantom Rush after reaching 20 combos, but we do have extra glimpse of Sonic's other skills from the skill tree, like Sonic Boom, which is a ranged burst attack, and Wild Rush, which is an extremely fast attack in itself. Now in regards to Wild Rush, you are able to use this as an evasion move to avoid enemies before Sonic moves in for the attack. So I'm guessing that this itself can be activated strategically if the needs arises to. And this is truly exciting in itself, as the combat looks way more crisp and way more engaging compared to just button smashing. Now this next topic is probably one of the most controversial part of the trailer, and it is called Cyloop. Now Cyloop basically has multiple usage. First of all, one of the ways to use Cyloop is to activate it and loop around opponents that has shields on them, and this will temporarily break those shields down, making them vulnerable to attack for a short brief moment. And this is great because it shows that the gameplay is moving towards fighting different varieties of enemies, and the trailer specifically stated that enemies will get harder as the game progresses. So this is definitely not a button mashing game, but rather you have to think on how to actually beat your enemies tactically. Now for the other use of Cyloop, however, this is where most people are having mixed thoughts. You see, from the trailer, it shows that you are able to use Cyloop to circle around to gather more rings, which, considering this is Sonic, it means keeping you alive for a little bit longer. Now, I don't want to jump into this too deep yet, as it is too early to assume how this truly works on the ring side of things, but in my own personal opinion so far, I do not think that this is a problem, assuming that it really does spawn rings out. Mainly because, number 1, rings are kinda scarce in the open world of Sonic Frontiers based on the demo, and number 2, I think it is better to take this as a type of quick healing mechanic. Obviously, it would be ridiculous if you could spawn an unlimited amount of rings just by circling a few quick seconds, but considering there is a limit on how long Cyloop can be used based on the trailer, I wouldn't really worry about it too much. Also, there is a risk of using Cyloop at the wrong time during a fight, so that is something to think about as well. Let's see how this Cyloop thing works in the final release of the game. Now I wanna jump to parrying since we are already talking about the combat. So yes, Sonic is able to parry enemy attacks. There will be a visual cue to assist on your parry timings, and once the parry is successful, it seems to give Sonic an extreme burst amount of speed. So fast that it slows time down from our perspective. This will give you ample amount of time to dish out as much damage as you can during this sequence. The parry seems to work on both enemies' melee and ranged attacks, but I'm assuming that there might be some attacks that you just can't parry. So yeah, not only does the game want you to fully focus on attacking, but you are also given the option to think defensively as well. And in this case, it seems to be very worth it and very fun to practice parrying the enemy as efficiently as you can. I love this style of combat in any action games as it allows you to pay more attention to the fight, which in turn makes the fight all the more fun and engaging. Now we also have a glimpse at the Guardians, which I'm guessing are the mini bosses or even the bosses themselves. And we do have some interesting insights of how this will mainly work. Firstly, there will be different phases for these Guardians. It is not so straightforward as going on full attack to bring their HP down, as there will be strategic mechanics that plays out during these boss fights. And one of these examples is you have to circle around this Guardian while avoiding obstacles in order to expose its weak point, and then you are only able to dish out damage to its main core. Another example is this one, where you are in an electric cage setting and you can push this Guardian into the obstacle, rendering him vulnerable for attacks. Now this actually makes the fight more fresh and exciting for each unique encounter rather than relying on mindlessly throwing skills at them, but I also can see that there will be some concern that these mechanics might make these boss fights a little bit too easy. Of course, having boss mechanics can spice things up by a lot, but if not done right, it can make these fights rather simple and repetitive. So hopefully these boss mechanics are unique, fun, and of course have some difficulty to them to make it all worthwhile and to make it feel like a true boss fight. But yeah, overall I find the new Sonic's Frontier combat trailer really good. It does highlight a lot of the things that we are hoping to see. The combat doesn't seem to be as boring, weird and awkward compared to the previous trailers, and I cannot wait to get my hands on the game itself. However, I can't speak for everyone as you may feel otherwise, so do let me know down in the comment section below on what you think of the Sonic Frontiers combat. It will be great to read what you think about the game as well. I will be covering more Sonic Frontier in the near future, so do like this video and subscribe if you find this video helpful. And while you're still here, do check out these two videos as well, as you may enjoy them just as much as I did in making them. This is TheViperian signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay awesome, and I will see you in the next video.